Hi guys, this is Coach Powell coming to you live again. This is Coffee to You and Me every Friday for the last almost 18 years now. I've been working with entrepreneurs, business leaders, leaders of all types to help them come up with various different ways to grow their organizations, grow their leadership, create more positive atmospheres around them. And I love this broadcast. I love doing it. I love coming on and sharing stuff with you guys. I'm logged on a little bit early today because I've got a lot of friends that I promised that I was going to find some special stuff for. So I want to make sure that I'm here when you guys arrive. And so it doesn't worry about it. I can talk to myself for a minute. But we are going to create some powerful opportunities for a lot of you all today. Today's presentation is going to be super special because we are leading up to a big event we're doing in October. On October 31st, we're going to be sharing with thousands of entrepreneurs all over the country some of the highest quality professionals that I think I've ever had a chance to collect and gather and work with to really take care of and do everything that we can do to support SWAM businesses, to support small, women-owned, minority-owned businesses. And obviously that includes the disabled and any other type of veteran that would also own a business and is trying to figure out the smart play, the smart way to go. We've got lots of tickets available, and we're gonna do something really special for those people who don't know, and we'll talk a little bit more about it later during the episode, but we're going to do a video contest. And this video contest is really going to have an opportunity for all the businesses to who register right up front to shoot a video and deliver that video. And what's special about this is it's going to be able to give them a chance to promote their business and promote what they're doing, but they not have to do it alone. And so we're going to get them coaching. Imagine like every time you would do a TED talk or something like that, they really assign you a coach, somebody to work with that can walk you through the process, how to give a great presentation and so on and so forth. Well, we're going to do these videos and we're going to give you an opportunity to learn everything we're going to be teaching you from here on out for the next few weeks about how to deliver an amazing presentation. And so those people who get their tickets now and log in and go ahead and take care of that, then we're going to make sure that they are able to have a good video, make sure those things are taken care of, and they're going to be able to work with all the professionals that are going to be helping, including my chief fun officer. My chief fun officer, Jasmine, is amazing. She's an amazing event coordinator, and she's a super special person. And she's going to be helping me really pull this contest together. Let me tell you how the contest is going to go, just so you guys are and if by the way, if you have any ideas that you want to share with me, feel free to go ahead and share those ideas in the content in the chat, or hit me up with an instant message at some point during the day or tomorrow. It doesn't really make a difference to me. I'll get the information. But what's important to me is that your ideas get to be represented, and not only just your business. We get to share you, and we get to share your ideas. And it's amazing when things happen when you get to share your ideas. Let me turn some of this stuff off because these bells and whistles are going to bother me throughout the broadcast if I don't do that. Okay. Everything's on mute and silent and off and all that kind of good stuff, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay. So, what was I saying? Here's how the contest is going to work. We're going to take 100 video submissions of 2 minutes or less content that's going to basically answer the question: who are you? What is your name? Not just what you do, but who are you? What is the character that you have that's special that we should pay attention to? And then people who are able to do that exceptionally well, we're going to narrow that down to 20. And those 20 videos are going to get showed throughout the conference on October 31st. And what's super special is we're going to choose one of the 20 videos to be one of our platform speakers for the day. And so they're not going to know who that's going to be until the day of the contest, which is exciting because, you know, imagine people are going to be prepared. They're going to be ready to go. We're going to have lots of speakers that are coming up all day long, just hitting it one after another. Boom, 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 boom. And then at the end of the day, we're going to announce who's going to be the guest speaker. And we're going to do a wonderful introduction for that person. And then we're going to let them have the floor. and they're going to have an opportunity to be one of our platform speakers. So it's just an amazing opportunity for anybody who wants to go ahead and buy a ticket and get it done right away. Just start working on it now, because the sooner you buy your ticket, then the sooner you can get in the video contest. And you can start working on it, and we can start shipping you information and giving you all kinds of good stuff that'll help you put together an amazing presentation. So I hope some of you all are going to take advantage of that. In fact, what I'm going to try to do when I'm really good, as I remember to do this kind of stuff, there it is. I'm going to put the link to the conference in the chat myself so that you all can see it. And if you go ahead and get a ticket during our presentation today, then and announce it, we will let everybody know that you're going to be in the video contest, and you're going to be one of our first people to take advantage of the contest, which is, it's just going to be awesome. I can't tell you how important it is to be able to get your business out there, to be able to get your brand out there, to get your image out there in a way that people can access it and take advantage of it. It's so smart, and it's such an intelligent thing to do. A lot of people they don't take advantage of all the opportunities they have. And so we wanted to create something, when we created the Level Up Conference, we wanted to create something that entrepreneurs could do for themselves, could work well with, and could make amazing things happen. So we've been working with this program, and I have created a process, and the process is called the 5 Elements of Perfect Presentation. These 5 elements taken together will always deliver in a very small amount of time a presentation that no matter what you're doing, people can be proud of. You can be proud of the fact that you've put your best foot forward. You can be proud of the fact that you've done something that people will remember. You've created something that connects with people emotionally. You've given people the steps it takes to either refer you or to build a relationship with you, or to start talking about something that's relevant and meaningful, so that you don't waste time fiddling around what's going on. And I tell a lot of my friends and associates, it's very, very important when somebody asks you, what do you do? Someone asks you what you do, they're really asking you a lot of questions. They're not asking you just what do you do. They're asking you what's exciting about what you do, what's relevant about what you do, who is it important to, what it is that you do. And if I were to fall in love with what it is that you do, how do I share it with the appropriate people that it's appropriate to share it with? These are the questions that you need to be able to answer. Every professional needs to be able to answer these questions, and you need to be able to do it in a way that's going to create the highest amount of impact possible to the person you're talking to or your listening audience. And so the 5 Elements of Perfect Presentation is something that I've used to take the fear out of answering those questions, take the fear out of creating an opportunity for yourself and building a relationship. Because when you think about it, people want to build relationships with people, professional, personal, doesn't really matter, that they're attracted to. They want to build relationships with people who are communicating something of relevance, of meaning. And they want to make sure they're not wasting their time with people who are just trying to sell them a product or service that they may or may not need, because they haven't really taken the time to listen to them, haven't really taken the time to engage with them in a powerful way. It is very, very important. Oh my God, I'm looking at the shine on my nose. This is crazy. All right, guess nothing I can do about it. I should have hired a makeup person. Anyway, what's important, I see you guys out there, what's important when you think about how you're going to present yourself, when you think about how you're going to present your business, you really got to make sure that you're answering those hard questions, because no one's going to ask you all those questions, especially if the first things out of your mouth when they ask you what it is that you do, or could you introduce yourself to a group, or, tell us something special about you? How do you answer those questions? You need to have a pre-programmed system at the ready, specifically if you're like me. If you're an introvert, if you're the kind of person that really is not good off the cuff. Now, I will tell you, most of us are not good off the cuff. And it's not just because we're introverts. It's because any type of masterful presentation or message needs to be something that is well thought through, well rehearsed, well understood, and something that can literally set you apart from everyone else. And you're not going to be able to do that off the cuff. If you think about some of the greatest movies or presentations or commercials or anything that you've seen in the past in your life, nobody made that up on the spot. It was a collaborative effort of 1,000 different people, directors and writers and producers, and people were funding whatever it was that you saw, whatever it was you witnessed, whatever it is, whether it was music or kind of whatever presentation it was that wowed you. It didn't just happen because somebody was unprepared and you walked up to them and asked them, so what do you do? No, it was a lot of thought that went into it. A lot of thought went into, what people were going to do. Hey, Warren is here from Bavaria. All right. I see Scott's in the house as well. It's good to see you guys. I'm going to give you guys a little shout out a little later on, so hang in there with me. Let me see who else is here. I've got quite a few people logged on. Oh my goodness, the numbers are growing. Listen, guys, if you are logging on for the first time or you're just getting in the room, do me a favor, in the chat, go ahead and put your name, the name of your company, anything you want people to know about when it comes to you. If you want people to follow up with you, get in contact with you, share something with you, I want you to give all that opportunity. I want to give you all that opportunity as possible. So make sure you put your name, your email address, your phone number, your website, if you want people to go visit the website, anything you want to put about yourself. And we're going to go through that during the second half and make sure we get everybody a proper shout out, everybody talk to each other. If you see somebody in the chat that you haven't seen in a while, you want to talk to, feel free to go ahead and chat with them during the presentation, because this will be recorded on our website and it'll be available for you. I'm going to go ahead and repost it on YouTube. I realized that a lot of I hit the wrong buttons this afternoon when I started the broadcast. So a lot of this stuff isn't already going to be posted on YouTube. I got to go back now and do it manually, but that's okay. We're going to have a great time anyway. So I'm glad you guys are here. There's quite a few people that have logged on already. So make sure whoever you are out there, put your name in the chat box so we can see you. If you have a company that you want to represent, go ahead and do that. And this would be exciting. If you met me somewhere, I don't care whether it's through the fraternity, the organization, school, whatever it is that, wherever you've met me, that'd be a fun thing to put in, I met you here, and let me know what that is. Because, a lot of you all might know each other, but you don't know each other until you put your stuff in the chat, which is a great opportunity, right? Okay. So having said that, today we're dealing with the 5 elements of perfect presentation. Earlier in the last couple of episodes, and if you want, you can go back and watch the first episode, the previous episode to this one, we shared with you the no-nos, things you should never do during a presentation, things you should never say or be or do during a presentation. And let me cover a few of those really quickly with you right now. One, you should never start a presentation with your name. You should never start a presentation with your title. You should never start a presentation with the name of your company, because these things are irrelevant to the person who's listening. Imagine if a person asks you what it is you do. You ask me what I do. My name is Marvin Powell. I work for Coach Powell Training Development. I'm the CEO and founder. That's not what I do. And I've just given them a whole bunch of information. Was wasted 15 seconds talking to them about something that's absolutely irrelevant. Doesn't answer the question, doesn't answer any of the real questions they're asking me. Because they may start a question or what it is that you do, or tell us something about yourself, or, or what's special about what you do. Starting off with your name, your information, the facts are pretty much an irrelevant situation at that point. You never want to start a presentation with that information, because it's wasting time. You got a few seconds to to captivate an audience, to capture their attention, to say something relevant and meaningful. If you do it well, you start with something called the benefits. Like if anybody has taken my benefit selling course, then you know that I'm serious about this, because the first thing out of your mouth should answer the question, why should we listen to you anymore? That's really the first thing out of your mouth. It should be the first thing that people hear. I know, and if someone ask me, what do I do? I said, you know what? The most exciting thing I get to do, I get to help people deal with their energy level. I get to help them broaden their focus and make sure that they're capturing things they need to capture. And I get to make sure that they're super productive. Everything I do and everything I create is all about helping people get to the place where they've identified their purpose, their passions, and they're finding ways to streamline their success and make amazing things happen. That's a benefit. These are benefit statements. These are statements that tell people this is, why you should continue to listen to me. Because 9 times out of 10, even if I said just those benefit statements I just shared with you, they're going to go, well, how do you do that? Or they go, that's amazing. How do you do that? Oh, you must be a coach, or you must be a whatever that is. It doesn't matter. You must be a consultant. You must be, one of these guys, a speaker, or what do you, tell me more. They're going to be, now you've got their attention. A benefit statement right up front opens the window for people to want to pay attention to everything that you say next. If you don't get a benefit statement up front, then the question they're asking themselves, which is why I should pay attention to you, they already know they shouldn't pay attention to you. They already feel like you're hijacking their emotions. They already feel like you're not doing what you should do for them. So big no-nos is starting with the facts of your situation and who you are, and don't make small talk. Nobody cares about small talk. Nobody cares about the weather outside or how miserable the weather it is, the temperature is in the room right now, or anything like that. If you meet somebody at a networking function, or somebody gives you a chance to introduce yourself, don't start off with something that's miserable or something that is, taking the mood down. You want to do that. We're going to talk about that today. All right. You want to do that. You want to kill the mood. And I explain that to you a little later on, but you don't want to start off with that. You want to start off with a hell of a benefit. You can even do a benefit as a question. You can ask them. They say, well, tell me what you do. You can say, listen, you got a couple seconds? And they'll go, yeah. Okay. So now you got their attention, right? Ask them another question. Have you ever met someone whose only job in life was to help people focus, produce more, and create tons of energy while they're doing it? Have you ever met a person like that? And I'll go, well, no. And I'll go, you just have. In fact, what I do better than anybody else is blah, 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 blah. And I could go on. You can then create the intro you want to create. But you got to start with something that delivers that impact. You got to start with something that delivers that engagement, that makes them answers the question for them. Why should I pay attention to you? All right. Next thing I talked about last week is once you've created a wonderful impact statement, you've not used any of the no-nos so far in your presentation, right? Because you've kept it simple, you've asked some open-ended questions, you've delivered some impact or indication that there might be something amazing coming forth that they should really pay attention to next. Now you're ready to tell a story. And then the first thing you want to do to tell a story is you want to set that character up. I talked about that last week, but it's very, very important. If you don't set the character of the person that you're going to be talking about in the story, your protagonist, then no one's going to feel connected to what you're going to say next. You need people to think of people that they know that fit the description, the demographic description of the character that you're going to describe in the story that you're going to tell. If you do that, so you try to tell a story without setting up the character first, then people are going to go, well, why are you talking about this? Why is this important? Who are you talking about? You need to set the character up. It is critically important that you do that. at least 3 to 5 demographic descriptions of the character. When I say demographic description, that's things that you can see, right? You have to be able to see the character in your mind's eye. So you need demographic information. You need to profile that person. Who is the person? Is that person a tall person? Is that person, you can even say whether they had racial characteristics or whatever, African American or Latino or whatever it was. It's okay to say those things when you're trying to develop the character, right? You can say the person lives in a certain place, a certain zip code, a certain area, a certain city, a certain, you can drive a certain car. They drive a certain color car. They have XYZ kids. The kids are XYZ age. Their age is around about blah, blah, blah. You need to do that, and you need to give at least 3 to 5 demographic descriptions of the person that you're going to talk about in the story, because we need to have time to go through what I call our mental Rolodex and see if there's somebody that we can identify with who fits that character description. Every time it is done well, and I'll give you an example of how it's done well. People think of people that they know. Let me try it out for you right now. Person I love working with most, her name is Sarah. Sarah is a dentist. Not only is she a dentist, she's a special dentist. She's an orthopedic dentist. So she does ortho, right? So she's very, very good at making sure that all the basic strategies that are necessary to keep your teeth healthy, she understands how to do that exceptionally well. She's been in the game now since she graduated from dental school. She was 25, so it's about 7 years now. She's amazing at what she does. Highly skilled professional, has the best, latest, newest equipment, has an office right in Fairfax. The heart of Fairfax, Old Town Fairfax, Fairfax City. That's where she is. She's not married yet, although she is dating somebody she's been seeing for a couple of years, and you're thinking about making this thing serious. But they both got some business things they got to work out before they feel comfortable, merging their financial lives in the marriage route kind of thing. That's very, very. She's thinking about that right now. That's demographic descriptions. I guarantee you, as I ran through who that person was, you started thinking of people that you knew that fit the description. Maybe you didn't think of when I first said this is a woman. You might have thought, I know women. I know somebody who's a professional. Okay, fine. I know somebody who is in Fairfax. Maybe not a dentist, but I know somebody else is in Fairfax. Maybe not this, that. So what happens when you run through that mental checklist, when you help people give that demographic description to people, they start identifying with the character, people that they know. You're really capturing their attention. Specifically now, you lay the benefit out, and now you're presenting them with some demographic descriptions of the kinds of person that you work with that will help them think of people that they already know. By the time you finish that character development, you want them to think of somebody that they already know. Now, it's important that you use demographics, not feelings, because we don't often know who's feeling this way or that way. We know who is, we don't know how they feel. And so when you give your story, when you talk about the demographic, you want to talk, and you don't want to do a laundry list, a specific demographic, not everything you possibly could think of people you could possibly work with, because that's nobody. Everybody is nobody. And so you want to think of a specific demographic because you're building a story. A story has a specific character, not a general broad character. If you tell a story that's multiple characters, then it's going to get complicated. It's going to be laundry list. People won't think of anybody they know directly. And it's going to be, you don't want to do that. The next thing you want to do, and this is what we're going to talk about today. Once you've opened up their mind, you've got them excited. They want to know about these benefits that you offer and how you offer these benefits and how they're going to come out. And you've got them now on the hook thinking about people that they already know, somebody that they already know who fits the description of your character. Similar. They don't have to be the exact person, but something similar that the person that you're describing. They got a name or a person in their mind already. Now you want to hit them with a drama. You want to hit them with the heaviest drama that you possibly can. If you can get them crying, That is an important thing. You want to get them emotionally accessible. You want to get people emotionally connected to the character in the story, right? So you may say something like, poor Jennifer. She's been at this for so long. She's been trying so hard to be successful. She's put off all of her life plans. She's put off her life goals and everything just because she wants to be successful at her profession before she starts to go into things like being someone's mother or taking care of a husband or trying to figure out how to work in a committed relationship or anything like that. Before she does that, she just wants to make sure that she's comfortable with who she is. She's comfortable with the profession that she's chosen, right? It's critically important that you sink this drama in, right? This poor woman, she's been at this for 7 years and she's only scratched the surface. I mean, yes, people are coming to see her. Yes, she's getting some clients here and there, but she has this just tremendous amount of business debt that she got into because, you know, young dentists, the bankers and they're willing to lend you stuff. She's got a house mortgage to deal with, and even though it's just a small condo, it's something. This is another debt weight on her shoulder. She's got excessive revolving credit, and she's got student loans to pay off. And so although she's a professional and she's at the top of her game, she's going to all the conferences, she's learning all the new techniques and strategies, she's really, really good at what she does. She just can't seem to get enough business in. She can't get enough people in the doors to really, really make a successful thing. Not only that, she's feeling really, really disconnected from the community that she lives in because she chose this community based on the demographics of the community, but she's so busy trying to just keep her head above water, she can't even get involved and active in the community. She can't see a way to do that. And everything she's tried, advertising has failed. The marketing processes have failed. Everything she's tried to do to bring people to the door has failed. She's thinking about throwing in the towel. If she doesn't turn this around in a very short period of time, maybe a year, she's gonna throw in the towel. She's gonna give up on her life stream of becoming a professional dentist and just move on to something else, maybe a sales rep or something like that. She'll figure out something else she needs to do, but she can't continue this way. You get a feel for the drama. The drama is incredibly important if you're going to tell a story. If your character is not going to experience some kind of pain, some kind of suffering, some kind of anguish or angst, then what's going to happen later on when you try to say that the hero has come in to save the day or somebody's done something wonderful that's changed the situation, you're not going to be able to experience the depth of emotion you need to experience to move people into action. And what I mean by that is this. Once you are sunken into the drama in a character, think about the movies you've seen or anything you've seen before that involve people, right? And there's drama involved with it, right? You want to see the resolution because you're connected to it emotionally. You're connected to it emotionally. You want to see the resolution. You want something good to happen. In fact, every Disney story, so to speak, when you think about it, every single one of them, right? Whether it was a princess or hero, whatever it was, somebody had a tremendous amount of drama and they almost gave up. And they were at their last leg and they didn't know what to do. They didn't know where to go. They didn't know how to turn it around. And then all of a sudden, something amazing happened. The fairy godmother showed up. The hero came to save the day. Somebody climbed the trellis and rescued them from the tower. Something happened. So the kiss that made everything amazing, whatever it is, something happened. Usually it was a person that delivered something or did something, slayed the dragon, whatever it was, that created the necessary next step in the story. We're not going to talk about that next step. Next week, we're going to talk about who the hero is and how the hero shows up in the story. But I want to make sure that you understand how important it is to sink the drama. Because if you're going to tell a story, if you're going to create a brand for yourself, people are going to need to know that you rescue people, that you solve real human problems. Whether or not they have the problem is irrelevant. The fact that they might be thinking about somebody who might possibly have the problem, you want to make sure that that connects with them, that drama connects with them and resonates with them on an emotional level. Because you want them so excited to go and tell someone else about this story that they can't help themselves. They're like, oh my God, I got a friend I'm thinking about right now. I can't wait to go tell him. Or even better, I need you. But this is not about you selling you. This is about you showing up as authentically as you possibly can, in the realness that you possibly can, with something that's memorable, something that's compelling, something that is easy for people to grab a hold to. And trust me, it's easy for people. If you have a real solution that you provide to some person, whether it's an organization or a person in an organization or a person that's in their own business or whatever that is, that problem needs to be full of drama. If it's not, they're going to receive you as a service provider. There's no drama. Let me give you a case in point. Right now, recently I had a tree out in the front of my house, and it was a shrub, sort of one of those evergreen trees, very tall evergreen trees, and it was right in the front door. They do this regularly in the townhouses in Centerville, Virginia, where I am, and the tree got sick and it started to die. And the evergreen that's dying doesn't look good. I mean, these patches of brown in it, it's sort of green, but sort of brown, but sort of green. And so I had to pull it out. I called my buddy, because the homeowners association asked me to pull it out. And if I didn't pull it out, then they're going to start, levying fines and all that kind of stuff. They really wanted to have that pulled out and replaced if possible. And so what I saw, what I experienced in this situation was an opportunity for me to engage a friend, a colleague of mine, is my buddy Adam Wingo, and he came off, and we call him the tree whisperer, right? He came out and he pulled the tree up for me. Now, what's left is a stump. Not a stump necessarily, but roots are still left, because he literally just pulled it out from its roots, and there's still some roots kind of left, after he broke the tree up. There's still some roots kind of left in there, and I want those out. I want those out because if not, there's going to be a muddy mess and a hole right next to my door, and anybody who comes and visits can see that muddy hole in my door, every time. And I want the roots out, and I want them covered, and I want them done well. And so now, if I don't get it done, my wife is going to start looking at me like, okay, this is your friend. He asked you, you asked him to come over. He did the work. It's fine. You said you'd have it taken care of. And if it doesn't get taken care of in a reasonable period of time, I'm in trouble, because I'm not knocking off my honey-do list, and things are happening that, I'm not happy with, right? Life is not good for me when the wife is not happy, right? So you got a little bit of drama going on. So you want to know how it's going to be resolved, don't you? That's what drama does. It helps you to sink in the problem, because now, if my wife doesn't feel comfortable, it's already hard enough. It's COVID-19. We don't really want a whole bunch of people coming over, but even people that we might have come over, like family or people that are really close to us, they got to see that mess in the yard. That's gonna not gonna be good look. Not gonna be good look. Not gonna make the wife happy. We got to fix it. So I call in my other buddy, and we'll talk about that later in the other presentation we're going to do next week. But I want you to think about this. Without the drama, there is no emotional connection to the character. There is no situation that has to be resolved. There is no problem that has to have a solution. If you just have a problem and there's no emotional context to the problem, then the problem can stay out there forever. I could care less about the stump in the front yard. I don't care. But because my wife cares, now I have to care. Because if I don't care, and I'm shopping around for the cheapest person to come and help me with the situation, because I'm taking bids, I'm taking 20 bids, to see who could do it cheaper, instead of just getting it done, right? Because it needs to get done. Then I'm treating a lot of service professionals with this problem. To me, that's not really a bigger problem. I'm just trying to get it done as quickly and as inexpensively as I possibly can. In fact, if I really want to do it inexpensively, I just go buy, the right kind of saw or hoe and dig that stuff out myself, right? Nice electric, power saw. I can dig it out, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to buy a piece of equipment I'm only going to use one time. So I'd rather have a professional come in and do it anyway, because then I don't got to get all dirty and muddy and then track dirt in the house, which is another problem, right? And so you want to make sure that you're actually talking about the drama and the feelings and the emotions associated with the drama. Because if you don't, then when the solution comes in, whatever product or service that is provided to solve the drama, it's not really that much of a difference. So like I said, you want them to be on an emotional low so that when the solution comes in, they're on an emotional high and they feel like a real resolution has happened, right? If that doesn't happen, then there's not really a problem. Nobody perceives the problem to be a real problem. It's got to be a real problem. My buddy Suresh is on, and he'll tell you there's a difference between somebody who needs to get dressed because they need to perform, or they need to have a certain image to be in a certain office or to be in a certain environment, that they're trying to rebrand themselves or reconnect themselves now that they've lost a ton of weight, or changed somehow, some way. They want to keep their professional image really, really sharp. There's some drama associated with that. That's pain, it's suffering and anguish. If it doesn't get done well, that person's not going to feel good about whatever decision they made to hire anybody, right? And so that's the pain. But if there's no pain, the person just flippantly wants to do some things. I'm interested in having a nice suit here and there every once in a while. It's no big deal. I can take it or leave it. Then you don't want to hire somebody who is a specialist, an expert, somebody who could really, really, measure you correctly and will work with you to make sure you have the right color scheme and the right palette and the right choices and so on. Can really help you figure it out. You don't need to just go ahead and get something stupid off the rack because you're not willing to invest any of yourself into that situation. The drama is important. If you don't have it, if you don't have a real need, you just have a desire, it's not enough to work with somebody who needs to build a relationship with you, or may need to, if you're going to treat them as a transaction anyway, then I think you're doing yourself a disservice, and you're doing the person that's going to be working with you a serious disservice. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple and take a quick break for you guys. I've been yapping for a while now. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'm going to see if I can't, in the break, here's what I want you all to do. Describe. Give me 3 pain points. If you thought about somebody who you serve, a customer, give me 3 pain points and give me some situation. No, even better. Give me a situation that if you don't fix the problem that this customer has, and it needs to be a specific problem, then what's the pain? What's the suffering? Give me three things they're going to suffer. I told you about my dentist friend, right? If she didn't fix this problem, she's going to feel like a failure. She got to close her doors, and that's going to be emotionally devastating because she invested so much time, effort, and energy in this thing. And she basically is going to have to rebuild her own identity. This has to work. Or she's got to go back to school again. Think about that. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna give you guys 5 minutes, and I'd love to see your answers in the chat. So put your answers in the chat. And if you haven't already told yourself or introduced yourself, go ahead and do that. I'm going to run because somebody's knocking at the door, and I'll be right back. Hey guys, sorry it took me so long to get back. I wanted to give you guys a little break. I need to take a little break myself, and I needed to answer the door. My daughter just ordered some kind of Mexican food. I guess she's going to be coming to get that in a minute because I don't even know if she heard the door ring. Other than that, then I think her food might get cold before she remembers it. Anyhow, I see my friends are out there, and before I go in to see your answers to the drama, you know, think about it. What I'm asking you to do, I'm asking you to write down in the chat literally the pain, the anguish. What is it that would happen if you didn't come in and do what you do so well? If your product or service wasn't used, what's the pain? What's the suffering? I see you guys some people are queuing up some answers, which is great. Let's see who's in the building today. We got Scott's in the house. Good to see you, Scott. I already know. Well, I'll tell everybody because I know Scott's probably sitting around going, what does Marvin want me to write? Scott is an amazing cost estimator. If you need to have a building done, if anybody needs to have a building done, he's probably one of the best in the business, the best anywhere ever. And he literally created software to do those kinds of projects, those kinds of customer estimating situations for building bridges or whatever it is you're trying to build. And Scott's amazing at that. And so without him, obviously costs run amok. People start to buy stuff that they don't need to buy, or they're bid on stuff and they participate in stuff that's not necessarily the most effective, most efficient cost savings process. That's what Scott offers. So if you don't hire Scott and you're trying to build a building or a bridge, you have somebody like Scott kind of watching the costs and estimating and saying, okay, how much steel do we need? How much concrete do we need? How much, where's the best way to get that kind of stuff? Then you don't have somebody that can handle that. And then all of a sudden in your project, that's why cost overruns happen in a lot of construction processes, because they don't have somebody like Scott. In fact, they don't have Scott. It doesn't happen if they have Scott, right? That's the drama. That's the problem he solves. How about you? What do you solve? What problem happens? What problem is no longer there because of you? For me, I know, like in the case of Sarah, well, I don't want to get too much into it, but she is the kind of person that if she doesn't have something, if that's not some kind of intervention that comes in really soon, she's out of business. She's going to feel like a failure. She may even go into some kind of toxic emotional response. These are things that happen to professionals all the time, and they don't do well under the kind of stress and pressure that they put themselves in. In fact, I'm doing a research right now about the millennials and their mentality when it comes to perfectionism. And mostly they have in their minds this ideal of everything that they're supposed to do. And if they don't see themselves winning in every category, then they feel like failures. And they are literally having emotional crisis after emotional crisis. They're suffering from disproportionately from anxiety and depression, and like generations of never before. And it's all because of their thoughts or ideas of perfection. It's really a sad situation, and they need to reframe and rethink, and they need to learn. And I'm writing about that, so I'll probably do a program about that right now. I'm in deep study about all things perfection, and why it's affecting our millennials so badly. Okay, Teresa says, I rendered service 3 months ago. Now the service is broke. The customer wants me to fix the issue for free. If I don't, then what? For some reason, I can't see the rest of that. All right, maybe she's still typing. In any case, if the problem doesn't get solved, what happens to the customer, the client? If I do not know what I do, one of my clients will slow down growth, increase attrition, lose prospects of powerful exit, which will cost them millions. That's good, Alan. I like that. That's, so if now I want to know what it is that you do, because I understand that this is big. This is the issue, right? And so you have to be able to unpack that. And so, okay, what's the drama? What created this problem that the client has? What created the problem that would cost them millions if they don't fix it? What created the problem? And those are things that's a part of the drama. And if you give a story, if you do the story correctly, in fact, I'm gonna drop in a piece of training for you guys so that you'll know how to get here. If you're telling a story or you're trying to relay to a customer or a client the situation, what is the problem that they are having that your process or program or service is going to be a solution to. If you're not good enough at identifying what the ultimate trajectory of that problem, if it's left to run amok, is, then you're not going to be able to cause the people that are listening to you, nor will you be able to cause the customer to identify enough with the problem to want to fix it. Because if somebody's doing something just because they were told they're supposed to do something and it has no implication for them whether it's done well or not done well, it's just something, then I think that you're not necessarily relevant. Your business is not necessarily relevant. Your product or service is not necessarily relevant. If it's a nice to do thing, a nice to have thing, then there's not really a problem. If it's a must do thing, because the implications, if it is not done, could be traumatic or impossible to overcome. Now you got a real service that you can identify with a target market. You can say, these are the type of people who desperately need my help. And if you can describe that really, really well, again, start with that character development. We talked about that earlier, and then move into the drama, the problem, the real problems that this person's facing. If you can do that, then we're going to be ready now for the solution. But if you're not, if for some reason you don't help people connect emotionally with the problem, then your solution has no impact. And a lot of times I see presentations all the time from people, especially sales presentations, where people are trying to present me a situation that solves a problem that I don't have. and they think they're doing something. They think they're doing, and then they ask me, what do I think? Well, I think I'm sure somebody has a problem for you to solve, but it isn't me. Because if they haven't done what they need to do to set that up correctly, I'm not connected. I'm not connected to the problem. I'm not connected to the character. There's no character for me to connect to. There's not even nobody for me to recommend that they talk to, because they've done a poor job of presenting their opportunity, their business, their organization. And so I'm going to share with you guys the document that I created, the training program that I created, the 5 elements of perfect presentation, because I shared it with everyone else last week, for those of you who all were here, but some of you all weren't here last week, so you get the chance to participate in that and catch up with it. And you should be able to see it in the chat box right away. Boom. There you go. Do me a favor. Let me know if you can see that in the chat box. If you can see it in the chat box, just give me a thumbs up, or say yes, I got it. Yes, I received it. Yes, I can. I need you to go ahead and access it right away. Go ahead and download or do whatever you need to do to get it to your system, whether it's a phone or a computer, because it's probably going to change and you're not going to get that link again. And so I want you to make sure that you have it and you can see it. Can everybody open it up? And if you can open it up, you can save it or download it, right? As soon as I hear from the majority of you, then I'll move on. Let me see. I don't see responses coming through the chat. Teresa said yes. I see you, Teresa. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Anybody else? It's coming. Nancy said yes, she sees it. Thank you very much, Nancy. Now, if anybody's having a problem, because I recognized last week that a lot of people had problems accessing some of the documents and some of the links that I shared with them, and I want to make sure that that's not happening now, because most of you are watching through Facebook, and I think Facebook is pretty good with sharing what I'm posting, but I'm going to do this one more time. I talked to you all earlier, for those of you who are on early, about an event that I'm doing in October. And if anything I'm talking to you about right now, I will be talking to you about for the next 3 weeks, is resonating with you, and you want to come to this event and you want to stand and deliver a presentation, you need to get a ticket right now, because in a couple of days, the ticket prices are going to go sky high. It's going to go through the roof. It's going to become inaccessible to a lot of people, just because, and I want to make sure that everybody who can participate, would like to participate, gets in there. Alan says he wasn't able to download it for some reason. Let me see what's going on here. Did I write protect that somehow, some way? No, you should be able to open it and you should be able to save it. Oh, yeah, you should be able to save it. It's open on my end, Alan. That's all I can tell you. So you should be able to save that. In fact, when you figure that out, or figure out what you need to do it, do me a favor and post whatever instructions you figured out in the chat. One of the things I think is important about this presentation that I'm sharing with you all, I'm sharing with you all the way I'm doing it over a series of weeks, is because when you get this right, when you learn how to present your product, your service really, really well, then what happens is, number one, people identify with you. They connect to you. They feel like you're doing something relevant and it's something meaningful. For some reason, you guys can't see this thing. I don't know why that is. Let me try this again. Copy the link, did that. And back to StreamYard, did that. Let's post it again. All right, if you can't, you should be able to, now this should take care of it. I think I did it correctly this time. Yeah, I did. I don't know what happened before. Okay, I didn't do it right. It was my fault. Technical glitch. I'm technically sort of competent, but not super competent. So, I'm not a master of that stuff at all. So let me know, guys. You should be able to see it now. It shouldn't be a problem. If it is a problem, let me know again. Thank you very much for those who did. I appreciate that. Dave says there's a pain point in his business. Number one, business losing customers because some of the bad online reviews. Pain point. It's killing my business. COVID-19 is killing my business, but I need more customers. Okay. And so the key to actually gaining more customers is to understand completely, first of all, what is it that you offer? Obviously, I know Dave offers a superlative web-based service that allows his customers to develop more connection to their customers. And so the people who are suffering right now is very difficult to identify because nobody comes up and goes, I'm suffering. So you really got to choose a niche that you want to own, a niche that you don't think there are a lot of people who are serving the clientele really, really well. And then focus everything you need to focus on figuring out what the pain points of that particular niche is, some of which you'll be able to serve, some of which you won't. For instance, right now, there are people who are having problems, or you would think are having problems in the construction industry, but they're not. A lot of times, especially the home or residential construction area, these people are in a boom situation right now because everybody's home. Everybody's seeing how messed up their house is, and they want something done right now. They want it fixed. And so people are getting their decks redone. They're getting all kinds of stuff. Those people are having a problem of booking too many people, and they can't serve them all. And they haven't streamlined their processes and their business to deal with the kind of onslaught that they're dealing with, right? So those kinds of people, those are in home constructions. Those people they're really needing to streamline their program, their process, everything, because they need as many people out in the field as they possibly can, and as few people in the office answering phone calls, dealing with all kinds of technical stuff back and forth. They don't need that. They need that automated so that it happens. So now they want all the chat boxes to work well. They want all the stuff to work well, better than ever before. And so they're willing to pay a premium because they got to get to these customers. Because now everybody's calling them. Everybody wants them to come get their lawn ready. Everybody wants them to come get ready for the winterize the house. All kinds of stuff is happening, and that wasn't happening before. And so those who are that's a great market for somebody who can offer streamlined processes like you, Dave. And you need to go after the winners in that particular market. Who are the best home services people in the area, and who knows them, and what products or services are they trying to distribute. And I promise you, you go after those people, and you're gonna turn that whole situation around. And those customers that you do have, or that have been happy, make sure you give them an opportunity to say wonderful things. And the more wonderful things that are said about you, the further down the road, whatever negative reviews happen. I mean, you can overcome a negative review, first of all, by responding to it. Don't ever just let it hang out there. But you also can overwhelm it with positivity, So when you've done the best you can and people see that you've done the best you can, nobody can really hold you accountable for anything less. Okay, and is there any other questions that I can answer today? I'll give you guys a sort of a hint that we're going to talk about next week. So we're talking about the 5 elements of perfect presentation, and just so for those of you who don't know what they are, let me just give them to you real quick. I got to go back and look at my own document, Marvin. They are important to know, important to use whenever you're doing a presentation, and they're part of every good presentation, whether you have a 60-second presentation or a 20-minute presentation. The first part of your presentation must have impact. It must have impact. Impact is done with benefit statements. It's done with character development. Then it must have drama. Drama sinks the emotions, helps people identify with the character even more than they already did. They might have identified the character, but now they're feeling for what the character's feeling, and they're able to now access a whole scenario of opportunity that they couldn't access if it was just, facts, right? Heroism comes in, somebody comes in, saves the day. The day has to be saved, because you understand, if you're telling a story and there's no hero that comes in and saves the day, you're telling a horror story, right? So there needs to be heroism, needs to come in and save the day. Then there's got to be vision. Vision is really about where this story needs to live. Who needs to hear this story? Where does it need to go, right? And then last but not least, recognition. Who are you? Who are the person? Who are the protagonist? Who are the people telling the story? If you have those 5 elements, impact, drama, heroism, vision, and recognition, in every story you tell, your story is going to be memorable. People are going to want to identify with you. They're going to have a great time working with you, and you're going to enjoy delivering the products and services that you can deliver. If you do this incorrectly, people ask you what you do, and you unload on them a whole bunch of complicated mumbo jumbo that means nothing to them. They're not going to want to refer you. They're not going to want to buy from you. They're certainly not going to want to work with you because you're going to be overwhelming them with information and ideas that are meaningless to them. They don't understand it. Maybe it's too much technical information, too much jargon-specific information, stuff that's specific to the industry that you serve. And because you're a specialist, you might know a lot about it. But that doesn't mean people that you're talking to have a clue what it is that, what it means to do all the things that you do. And so I've got a great story called the Farnsworth story that you can read in the 5 elements that I share with you. And whatever you do, don't pull a Farnsworth because that is the worst thing you can do when you're talking to someone else. And take a look at the story. And those of you who arrived a little late, by the way, if you need to go ahead and put in the chat the name of your company and contact information, anything that's relevant for people who might be on board with us today, I would really appreciate that. I'm sure they would as well. I'm going to hang on and answer any questions that anybody might have about how to present themselves. So far what we've covered, just to make sure, we've covered the no-nos in every presentation. We've covered how to open up a presentation with impact, and we've covered how to set the drama and sync the story and connect with people emotionally. It's important that you do it this way. Any story you're going to tell, it doesn't matter whether you're at a cocktail party and you're just shooting from the hip. If you follow this process, you're going to do a lot better than if you decide, you just want to go for it. Without practice, rehearsal, or anything, that's really a recipe for disaster, right? Let me see. We got a question out here. David, I think I misunderstood the question. The pain points I mentioned are the ones that I saw from my clients. Oh, I got you. Yeah, that's what I wanted you to talk about. What is the point that the problem? I mean, if you didn't do it, what would happen to the client? That's another thing. Think about it. What is the ultimate trajectory? If you didn't solve the problems that you solved, what would happen to the client if you didn't come in and do what you needed to do? Okay. Thank you for clearing that up, Dave. Alan says, okay, I found the document. It was just lost in a bunch of documents that had been downloaded, and it took some searching longer because I did not know what I was looking for. Okay. Suresh says, should I add a line in my business like socks, ties, etc. to revive my business until the corona is over? So you're asking me a marketing question, Suresh, and we're talking about storytelling right now, and that's fine. I mean, that's a great marketing question. But of course, if you have a line of product that you should definitely add it to your website. If it's going to be easily accessible, it's going to be something that people can get to quite easily. The question then is, who's going to see it? Who's going to know about it, and who do you need to point people to go see it? Because if it doesn't matter that you add something to the website, if nobody sees it, if the marketing for the site itself is horrible, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything if you add it to the e-commerce box or whatever you do, because you need people to see it, you need people to go to it, you need people attracted to it. So who wants to buy socks? Who wants to buy ties? And it can't be anybody, everybody, because everybody doesn't want to buy socks and ties. There's got to be just certain people who want to buy socks and ties, and they want to buy it online, and they want to be able to peruse through the selection. They want to be able to pick and choose, or certain moments where it makes sense. Maybe girlfriends or wives, most likely. I think, but then that's just me. I haven't done the market studies in the haberdashery world, so I don't know. But I think that mostly women are going to be excited about buying socks and ties for their boyfriends and husbands and so on and so forth. So I think, that's a pretty good market. So if you thought about that, if you need to figure out, how do you let women know that this is available? So and you're going to point all your marketing in that direction, or they're not going to catch it. You're not going to see it. You're not going to be able to measure the results, and you're not going to be able to hone in on a strategy that actually works. There might be certain professional women who don't have time to worry about this, but they got special days coming up, Father's Day, anniversary, whatever, and they want to get some socks and ties for all the men in their lives, to make it easy for all the men in your life, right? Your husband, your father, your brothers and sisters, brothers, and you want to get it all out there right now. You click a button, that's the message, right? So you got to think about all those things and how people are affected by them. Let me see. Alan says, what's your line? Anything to do with retail is to be approached with caution because the e-commerce world is hard to beat and compete with. We should talk offline. Okay, I think she's probably talking to Kristen. You're probably talking to Suresh. I understand that. And Kobe's not going anywhere anytime soon. But yeah, okay, you're talking to Suresh. Thank you for answering the question. I really appreciate that. And I love that you guys talking to each other. That's great. And you guys are helping out each other. That's great. That's awesome. Wilma, how are you? You're being kind of quiet in the room here. I'm assuming either you're introvert like me, you're probably doing 1,000 things at the same time, or you just don't. You're just a quiet person, which is fine. It doesn't really matter. I'm not gonna drag you out there if you don't want to get dragged out there. But if you have a business or a product or a problem something that you want to have people get in front of, you might want to tell us a little something about it. That's Wilma. She says hi. I just put her in the broadcast in case anybody wants to check out Wilma. And okay, so if anybody doesn't have any more questions, let me talk to you about next week. I said next week we're gonna be talking about the next part of the 5 elements. We're gonna be talking about the hero. How do you present the hero in a way in your story in a way that people are going to be like, oh my God, this is amazing. I got to tell somebody right away. I got to make sure that I do something about this right away, because the hero part is going to move people to action. If you understand how to present the hero correctly, you're going to win every single time. People will just be falling off their seat trying to get to you, trying to talk to you, trying to work with you because you told the story well. And so come back next week. We're going to talk about the hero. On October 31st, I told you guys earlier, got a special offering for you. It's amazing. We're going to be doing a full day conference. This thing is going to be a full day. It's going to be online. Nobody has to move anywhere except for to sit down in front of a camera if possible. If they don't want to sit in front of the camera, they don't have to. Just register. You can see everybody else on camera. And we're going to be having a real live business conference. This idea came to me years ago because I got tired of people coming into my city, which is the Washington metropolitan area, delivering these expensive talks on business development, marketing, financing, whatever have you. And we had to pay, oh God, how many dollars to see this wonderful speaker presenter come on and do something amazing. And then maybe they had some product or service they could deliver that would be meaningful. Maybe they didn't. And if they did have something that would be meaningful, it too was expensive and it cost a lot to get to, and time. You had to go fly out to Las Vegas to listen to this 5-day presentation, or fly off to Florida and participate in a 1-day seminar, or fly off to Texas, and or even if you could buy a service from them right now, it was so god awful expensive that it was like, why did I come? It was fun. It was interesting, but it just let me know all the things that I can't get involved in and do anything. And I felt bad, especially for small businesses that just couldn't catch a break. It's already hard enough to be in business. To see somebody who could help you, but then also to have them inaccessible to you for whatever reason is miserable. So I thought, what if we could do a local conference and have entrepreneurs, local talent that could then deliver the same products and services that we've been flying all over the country trying to get with these expensive people. Maybe I have some quality people that are right here that could deliver the products and services to the local market in a way that makes some sense. And so I started thinking about it, and I started rounding up all my friends, tons of LinkedIn connections and friends and consultants and advisors of all types and different types, who are really good at what they do. They're really good at presenting what they do, and they're very good at servicing the clients. And I thought, if I could get these people together and get them in a moment where as many entrepreneurs as I could possibly gather can experience this in a comfortable way, this would be amazing. And I thought I was going to have to do a face-to-face conference. I really thought it was going to have to be something that we sat down in an expensive hotel and, had the food and all the music and the rah, sis, boom, bah marketing. And then I thought about it. I was like, that's really not helpful. It's cute, but it's not helpful. What if we could do something online, something practical, something streamlined, something that really is good for small businesses? It doesn't take them out of their element. It doesn't take them off their game. It allows them to pick and choose what they like, what they don't like, see people they really want to talk to, get connected with those people, follow up with those people, create opportunities for themselves. Wouldn't that be magical? And we created that. That's what the Leverage Up Conference is all about. It's about leverage. It's about helping you create the leverage that you need to create to get to that next level of success that you want to get to. I have assembled some of the most amazing talent I think available in the Washington metropolitan area. These people are just the salt of the earth, in not just in what they do, but they're caring for small, women-owned, minority-owned, disadvantaged businesses of all types. And they want to do the right thing. They want to work with great people. And so if you get a chance to play with this, you'll be amazed. I'm not even talking about all the special thousands of dollars worth of bonus gifts and prizes and things that we're doing. This is going to be an amazing conference. And we're going to do this in October 31st. The beneficiary of this particular workshop is going to be the Community Business Partnership here in Northern Virginia. I'm planning on doing something similar to this every quarter, getting my friends together to deliver really, really useful products and services to entrepreneurs in a way that's easily accessible to them, and do it as a fundraiser for another nonprofit organization. So if you know a business association or some kind of nonprofit organization that focuses on working with entrepreneurs and small business people, I want to meet them. I want to talk to them because they may be the beneficiary of our next conference. And we're going to keep doing this conference every quarter. As long as it's successful, as long as it's helping out small businesses, that's what I really want to do. If it's not for some reason, then we'll stop doing it because, who wants to do something that doesn't work? In the meantime, if you haven't gotten your ticket, the cheapest ticket you're going to get is available right now. And I just dropped the link in the chat box. I'm going to drop another one just in case it's gotten too far down the road and you've missed it. Get your ticket now. Because if you get your ticket now, you'll get the most benefit now. And you'll be able to start, I'll get you into the video conference. I'll get contest for the videos. You'll be able to stand out amongst the other guests. Those who get their ticket later, they're not going to have this opportunity, not going to be available to get their brand and their image out in front of everybody. Not going to get as many bonus gifts and prizes as those who go and get the tickets right now. And so if you're gonna be available on October 31st, even if you're going to be available part of the day, you need to get your ticket right now. Okay. Let me see if there's any other questions, any questions I can answer for anybody. I will hang on and do that. We've been at this now for about an hour, a little over an hour. If there isn't any questions, I'm going to shut up and move on. David says, how many people have already signed up for the conference? We have over 110 so far. And they're not all going to be a part of the video contest, but over 110 people have registered or said they wanted to come. So let's just make sure that you get your ticket so that you can be in the people that are that'll be available to participate in the contest and all of the bonus gifts. Because they're going to have to shut it down pretty soon. Oh, let me see what else. Alan. One annual meeting, we had over 7,500 attendees with keynote addresses and then breakout rooms, meetings, and more. That's great, Alan. Thanks. That's wonderful information. We are on the same page, do fundraising programs and help others grow as well. That's true. We're going to do that. Did I miss any questions? Guys, if you ask me a question further up in the chat and I didn't catch it for some reason, go ahead and ask again. I don't want to ignore anyone. I don't want anyone to feel like, because normally in Coffee Tea You and Me, just so for those of you who might not know, about this time is when I open it up for questions from the audience. And you can ask any question related to anything in terms of your business development. What do you need to do better? What do you need to do differently? If it's something that, hey, Bob is out there. I see you, Bob. Thank you very much for coming out. I really appreciate it. Bob Kessler is one of the best entrepreneurs I've had a chance to know in my life. I mean, it's just a wonderful person, and it's so good. He says he's happily retired, and I'm sure his sons are carrying on his business legacy. Bob's a great guy. It's good to see you, Bob. Thanks for tuning in. David says, do you have a list of the speakers of topics? Yes, on the conference website, you'll see all the speakers. And so you just got to go to the conference website, which I put a link in already to the chat. And so let's do another one. Suresh sure would like to learn more, so please call me after the meeting. Suresh, I got a lot of people to call. I may be able to do that. I may not. Can't promise you. Here's my number. It's just run across the text right now. So feel free to give me a call and leave me a message. If I don't get back with you right now or soon after the meeting, I will get back with you first thing in the morning. All right, and that way, you'll be in the queue because I got a lot of calls to make. I got a lot of people still trying to be sponsors and a lot of people still trying to kick in. So I'm collecting more and more bonus prizes for everybody. This thing is crazy. Okay. All righty. I don't see any other questions. So I haven't seen none. Again, next week we're going to be talking about the next element of the 5 elements of perfect presentations, which is the heroism part. How do you bring the heroism in? How do you make sure that's taken care of? And I look forward to seeing you all. If any of you will have bought a ticket, you didn't tell me, so I'm not going to give you a shout out for that. So we'll talk to you later. I'm signing out. Good to see you guys.